Hello, this is Yo Sensei. In today's tutorial, we will learn the basics of Rhino 3D. Rhino is a very versatile program with which you can build products and spaces. Like any software, having a solid foundation will help you develop your skill set for more advanced modeling. After this tutorial, you should be able to get around with the basic navigation and simple modeling. Okay, let's get started. So from the description of this video, you can find this Rhino file, week 01 getting started 2022. And you can open this up by double clicking this. And it will open up like this. And the first thing that you see is these four windows. So before getting into it, one thing that I want you to really have is this type of a two button mouse. And two button mouse with scroll wheel. So this one is left click, and then this one is right drag. And we will go over a lot of things about like left clicking and right dragging, dragging with the mouse and scroll wheel. So this is super handy. So please make sure to have it. So you open up this file, and first thing that I want you to find is on the right side, there is this layer tab, which looks like a layer cake. So you can just open this up and then move this little side window to make sure to see, the names of the layer and, what it's showing. Okay, so this is the first thing that we are going to do. So what it says on this file is zoom is scroll wheel. Okay, so to zoom in and out of the window, you can just use the scroll wheel to zoom out, in and out. And then you can do that for all of the four views. So that's very easy to get to navigate around the file. And then next one is pan. So to move around in your file, you can just right drag. So hold your right mouse and then drag around to just move around to pan. Okay. What happens in the perspective view is that when you try to right drag in the perspective view, it's going to rotate, which is pretty useful. But if you want to pan, hold down the shift key on your keyboard, and then you can, right drag. Okay. So on right in the perspective view, it is shift plus right drag to pan. So just, practice the navigation. It's very simple and very intuitive to get around. So make sure to, get familiar with this. Okay. So that is number one. Number two, we are going to move our layer to number two layer. So what you can do is to go to this second layer and then click on where the check mark is on the second layer. So change the check mark location to second layer. So that second layer is active right now. And then you can turn off the light bulb on the first layer to just only show, the second shaded mode layer. So let's see. So create sphere and 3D box. So let's actually expand our perspective view by left double clicking the perspective panel. Okay. So this one is expanded. So create the sphere and 3D box. So what you can do is you can go into the left side and then there is a 3D box kind of icon. And then there is a sphere in here. So you can just click on the sphere layer icon and then click on the first and then click second. Okay, so that's sphere. And then I'm just going to create a 3D box as well. So click on the 3D box command. And then click first, not drag, click again, and then click again. So three locations clicked, and then you have sphere and box. Now, what you can do is right click on the perspective tab, and then find shaded view. So in the default view, it was showing as a wireframe view, but it is showing now as a solid view. Okay. And then you can try it for rendered view, which shows with material and lighting. ghosted, which show things in transparent. X-ray, we don't really use X-ray. Technical, with dotted line, and artistic, which is not very, artistic per se. Pen tool. So there are different ways in which you can, display your objects. So it's very useful. This also works in the top view and front view and side view as well. So you can just play around with it. I normally keep everything to be wireframe and, on the perspective view to be ghosted or shaded, because that displays your files in a very, very quickest way. So that's useful. All right, let's move on to the next layer, 03, selecting objects. So activate number 3 layer, turn it off, turn the bubble, light bulb off. Okay, so now we can go into perspective view and then take a look at click to select object. So if you click on the object, it will show as yellow. Highlights, and so this is useful. So you can select these. Okay, you can also select object by multiple object by shift clicking. So you can shift click to add to selection. Okay, and then you can also control plus click to deselect objects. So that's the difference between Adobe Suite and Rhino. You can also drag from left to right to select objects, and right to left to select objects. And there is a significant difference between these. So when I'm selecting from left to right, all of the objects that are inside of the cursor will be selected. Okay, but if you select from right to left, whatever the objects that are touching the cursor will be selected. So I think this is super useful when you're working in a very complicated files. So you can select from left to right, select these, and then deselect some of these, and then move them around or stuff like that. So that's useful. Another thing that is going to be a little bit complicated is that if you have objects like this that are stacked vertically, if you go into the top view, there are 4 objects in the same area. So if you try to click it, it's going to show you this list of extrusions. What that means is that this list corresponds with the highlights on the other views. So what it means is that, there are multiple objects in this area. And then if you move in your list, you can select the specific object that you want to select. Okay, so that is useful. Okay, so the next one is activate how to move objects. Okay, so you can activate the gumball at the bottom here, at the bottom of your menu bar. So there's gumball. So you can click on gumball. And then if you click on gumball, it's going to show you this kind of, arrow and rotation bars. So you can drag these arrows to move objects around. So what I want you to try is to drag and move boxes to align with the green line in the top view. So in the top view, what I'm going to do is I am going to drag all of these boxes to line up with this green box. You can also click on this green and red box right here as a handle. That's going to let you move in 3D in this in the XY position. So it's both of green and red arrow. Okay. So if you see this on the side view, it's aligned in the top view, but if you see this in the right view, this is not aligned. So what you need to do is you can just, put it down using the side view so that everything is aligned. Okay, so everything is aligned pretty much, on the bottom area. We are going to talk about more precise way of moving. So for now, this is just fine. One challenge, I want you to build a stairs that will ascend going up. So if you have time, please work on that. Okay. So the next one is copying objects. So first, it says create a 3D box. So I'm just going to click on this and then 3D box I will create. Okay. Type copy on your keyboard, COPY, copy. Right. And then press spacebar. So spacebar doubles as an enter key. Okay. And then always take a look at this, command prompt. And then Rhino says select objects to copy. So in this case, I will click on this one and then press enter, which is a space key. And then point to copy from, just click on the object and then point to copy to. You can just copy it to different locations. Okay. That's really cool. And then when you're done, you can either enter space or enter key. So that's how you copy this object. That's quite nice. You can actually press space key again. So what it does is that if you press the enter key or space key, it's going to activate the last command. So in this case, I'm just going to select the copied objects and then copy it again. And so you can do a lot of, cool things. So I'm just going to select all of these objects and then copy again on the front view. And so I can quickly create many objects. That's really cool. Okay. You can also click on this icon right here to copy objects as well. Okay, now we have these many objects, and that gets us to undo and redo. So undo is Control Z. And you can, by default, you can do undo up to 100 times. And it'll be nice if there was an undo button in your life, but not really. And then opposite of undo is redo, which is Control and Y. Okay. So you can play with Control Z and Control Y. So we don't really need to have this many objects, so you can play with undo and redo. Okay, so that is undo and redo. Okay, next one is rotate object. So you can do rotation on many different ways. So first, what we can do is you can click on this object, type rotate, and enter, and center of rotation to be somewhere around here. And then you can type 45 to type rotate 45 degrees. It's a little bit counterintuitive that Rhino rotates in counterclockwise. So if you want to rotate this object at clockwise, then you can type minus 45. Okay, so that is that. And you can also rotate this object by using Gumball. So in Gumball, you have this kind of, rotation handle that is, this arc. So you can rotate this object in, different ways that you want. Okay. So another thing that is really cool about rotation command is that you can rotate by copying. So you can first click on, select this object, type rotate, and then click on origin point. And then at this point, there is a copy no option. So you can click on copy no, and then change it to copy yes. And then you can type like 15, enter, 30, enter, 45, enter, 60, enter, 75, enter, 90, enter. So you can create this kind of array of objects pretty easily. That's nice. And so you can also rotate, copy this in this direction as well. So in the front view, I'm going to copy 15 degrees, enter, 30 degrees, enter, 45, enter, 60, enter. And so you can create this kind of, three-dimensional pattern pretty easily. So that's rotation command. You can rotate this object in many different ways. Okay, so the next stop is scaling objects. Scale by 200%. So click on this object, type scale, and then press enter, press the origin point of this, and then type 2 for 200%. So it's going to scale up by 200%. You can scale it again, type scale or type space key to repeat last command. Click on this object and type 0.5 to scale it 50%. Other ways to scale is that you can just scale in one direction using Gumball. Or you can hold shift on your keyboard to scale proportionally, okay, using Gumball as well. So there are different ways in which you can scale. All right, so the next stop is a layer system. So it's a very important skill for you to have to be able to control these layer systems. Okay, so now you can activate the number 9 layer. Okay, so number 9 layer has this light blue color, and then layer system layer has green color. So what you can do is click on this object and then right click on layer system tab and then change object layer. So this is going to let you change this object layer. Okay, you can change it back to the previous layer by selecting number 9 and change object layer. So make sure to be able to use the layer system pretty well. Okay, you can also select this object, right click, and then copy object to layer. So what it does is that it's going to create a copy of the same object into the destination layer, which is very useful as well. Okay, so let's get into basic modeling now. So you can draw a 2D circle by going into the circle tab. Okay, 2D circle, and then you can type this command, extrude curve. So you can start typing extrude curve. Okay, extrude curve, and then press enter. And then it's going to ask you for curves to extrude, which is this one. Press enter. And then it's going to let you create this kind of extruded cylinder, which is nice. Okay. And also, one thing, there is an option if it's solid, yes or no. And if you turn off solid, then it's going to draw it without lid. And then if you extrude it with solid option yes, then it's going to cap it. Okay. But if you want to cap this one after the fact, you can just type cap. Okay. So I want you to try drawing different shapes and then try extruding. You can just, draw it with a lot of different types of things. So you can just draw it like this and then extrude curve and then, create different types of extrusions. So please go ahead and try that. Extrude curve. Okay. So next command here is revolve. So revolve is a really cool command. So let's do this together. So type revolve, and we will do this in using the front view mainly. And you can type revolve. Okay. Revolve. And enter. And then select curve to revolve. Enter. And then click on the front view A point for to start with, and then click on the B point, somewhere around B. Okay. And then Rhino is going to ask you for the start angle, which should be 0. So type 0, or it's already 0. And then revolution angle should be 360. Okay. So that's going to get you this kind of goblet, which is very nice. Okay. So what it does is that think about the relationship between the curve, original curve, and how it gets revolved to create this shape. Okay. So I want you to try to create, different types of shapes that can be created using revolve command. So please work on that. Okay. So that's revolve. You can create apple, traffic cones, and other things. Okay. So the next one is lofting. So in this case, you can see these three lines in this area, and then we can create a loft to create surface. So type loft, L-O-F-T. And then click on first curve, and click on second curve, and click on third curve, and press enter. And say OK. And that's going to create this kind of, very nice surface. Very nice. However, I think you will get into this kind of situation where you try to loft, and then click here, and then click there, and click there. And then it's going to get twisted. Okay. So what it means is that if you think about this curve and there is a center point like this, if you click on the part that is on the left side and then click on the right side and then click on the left side, it's going to try to loft through those, sides. So what you need to do is to loft by selecting the same sides as well. Also, you will get into a situation where you try to loft A, C, and B. And then it's going to try to, loft A, C, B. So be careful of the order of you clicking on these as well. Okay, so the last command that we are going to do here is called Boolean difference. And Boolean difference is a really great command in which you can subtract solid from a solid. And then we have two sets of, objects that are on display. So let's try to do that. So Boolean difference, just type it. And then select surface or poly surface to subtract from. I'm going to select the left one first, enter, and then right one second. So it's going to subtract the bigger box with the smaller box. That's nice. And I'm going to do that with the reversed order. So click on this one, enter, and then click on this one. So it's going to subtract different types of things. Okay. And Boolean difference again, click on this one, enter, click on this one. And then Boolean difference again, click on this one, enter, and click on this one. Okay. So that concludes our first tutorial on Rhino. I hope this was really helpful for you. And from here, we will keep building our skill set to be able to model something that is a little bit more complex. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.